Hi everybody, Meg Young here. Yesterday we talked about not beating yourselves up when we're not doing things that we intended or in a way we intended on. Yesterday I talked about finding compassion for yourself and for others in this very difficult time. Today I wanted to expand on that just a little bit, and I wanted to talk about changing your story a little bit. When we get into our heads too much, it's very easy to start beating ourselves up. It's very easy to start seeing the negatives and not seeing how good things are within us, what we are doing for other people. It can be very difficult, especially for when you see people die, several days in a row. It can be very hard when you are a therapist and trying to help people through their stress and not seeing that improvement because they still have this constant ongoing stress. So it's very easy to then turn it back on ourselves and say, I'm not good at something. This is my fault. I should be better at this. I should have done that. So what I want to talk about and expand on today was change your story a little bit. When you start realizing that you're beating yourself up and you start realizing that you're not feeling so much compassion for yourself, how would somebody else tell your story? How would your friends tell your story? How would your family tell your story? How would your boss tell your story? If you look at it from an outsider's point of view, it's easier to see I am doing good. We are in this field because we want to help people, and we are in this field with other people coming down on us all the time. Other people are saying, why couldn't you have, just different things like that. So it's very easy for us to get into those negative patterns. But when we look at it from an outsider's viewpoint and we look at it by what would other people say about me? How would they say I'm doing? Most of the time we say, wow, I guess I am doing okay. You're not necessarily going to make yourself feel wonderful. You're not necessarily going to say, wow, I'm a great therapist, or I am a spectacular OR nurse, or whatever. But what you are doing is you're bringing the adrenaline back down. You're telling the brain, don't send any more adrenaline. You're telling the brain, I'm okay right now. I don't need to think about this stuff. I'm not trying to survive this very moment. You're telling yourself, right here, right now, I've done the best I can. And that's where we need to focus, is the right here, right now. So when you change your story and you say, what's another way of looking at this? How would somebody else tell my story? Some of that compassion for ourselves will come back. It's not an easy thing to do, and it does take time to practice it and to get it right and to be consistent with it. Most of the time, no matter what we do in life, if we only do it one time, it's not going to be all that effective. It's not going to be all that great. The more we do something, the more consistent we are on something, the more it becomes a habit. The more a habit becomes part of us, the more it becomes our personality. So the more we can tell ourselves, how would somebody else tell my story, the more compassion we're going to have for ourselves, the more resilience we're going to have for ourselves. Really, really a key point. So I hope you take that today and this week, along with everything else that we've learned, and turn that to you and say, how do I retell my story? How do I tell my story in a different way? How would other people tell my story? Build that resilience. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Stay safe. And again, thank you so much for everything that you're doing.